Happy and welcome to another edition of Time Out Over Time on the Time Out Over Time YouTube channel. I'm Rick Arsenal, and again, happy Monday. What a great wild card weekend this was, huh? I don't remember anything, every game, except, of course, the one last night. Every game coming down to the final minute, final seconds. Uh, Yeah, there's some really exciting football and very enjoyable games. Anyway, this is another edition of Time Out Over Time on the Time Out Over Time YouTube channel. I'm Rick Arsenal, your host. If you haven't done so yet, please get down there in the corner and smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you very much. You'll never know how much I appreciate that. And please tell your friends, let them know the next subscriber to my podcast will be the winner. And if you already subscribe, you can tell them what they're going to win. Uh, so, live and direct. Did I mention we're live and direct from the Frank Bank Chevrolet Studio Annex? I don't want to forget that. So anyhow, where to start, where to begin? Well, as you see in the headline, it's long overdue. Finally, the Red Wings are honoring Sergei Fedorov before the game tonight with the Carolina Hurricane by retiring his number 91. I think will he be? This will make him the 8th Red Wing to have his number retired, and like I said, it's long overdue. This guy, boy, you got to remember when he came to the Red Wings, the Cold War was still going on, and he was a defector, and boy, that was a long time ago. Anyway, he's the last Red Wing to win the Hart Trophy, which is the NHL's MVP award. That was back in '94. And oddly enough, it was a few years after that that the Carolina Hurricane, who they're playing tonight, he was a restricted free agent. What was that, 97, I think? I think it was 97. It was a restricted free agent, and they actually offered him, they made an offer to him, offer sheet. Of course, the Red in order to maintain him. And they did. And but he left with some hard feelings, I think, and maybe that's why it's taken this long to do what they're doing tonight. Anyway, the game gets underway at 7, but they wanted everyone in their seats by 5:30, which it really isn't that long from now. So if you can't see this, you could probably get it up on YouTube afterwards. And by the way, with the situation being the way it is now with FanDuel, I don't want to take a lot of time with this, but FanDuel now is they're having the same dilemma that they had last year with Bally for the Tigers or Pistons and Red Wings. FanDuel they're having the same problem. They got delinquent on their payments, and if you want to watch Tiger baseball this summer, apparently you're going to need a subscription to Fubo, FUBO, and in fact, I'm hearing it's getting so bad, FanDuel might not even finish the season with the Pistons or Red Wings. Not good. It's not a good situation. And there are 7 teams right now in Major League Baseball who their television rights are controlled by Major League Baseball. Again, money's the root of all evil. I understand that. But what they're trying to do now is drain you of every dime you have left in your pocket. And it's going to come to time, folks, when you want to watch any sport event, be it college or professional, you're going to have to pay for it. Doesn't sound good, but I guess it's a sign of the times. And that's too bad. It really is. So, Tigers and Tarek Skubal. Apparently, Tigers have inquired about a couple of veteran free agent pitchers, Lucas Giolito being one of them. Maybe it all depends on how the Skubal situation turns out. If the arbitrators rule in favor of he and his agent, Scott Boras, the Tigers will have to pay him $32 million this year. And I'm sure if you saw over the weekend, Alex Bregman signed a 5-year, $175 million deal with the Cubs. 5 years for $35 million a year for Alex Bregman, a man in his early 30s. I think he would have been better off staying in Boston. He probably put up better numbers at Fenway than he would at Wrigley. Um, as far as the Tigers go, though, I think they'd benefit from no baseball at all next year. You come back in 28, a more even parameter, if you will, or playing field with some sort of a salary cap implemented. It's something. I mean, if nothing, if the union and there's a lengthy lockout and nothing gets accomplished, and it turns out there is no salary cap, you're going to see the Dodgers pretty much winning every year, or the Mets, or the Phillies, uh, Yankees, Red Sox, small market teams. Simply, you don't have a chance. Uh, I think everybody. I think baseball, Major League Baseball, would benefit greatly by no baseball at all next summer. And I'm so sorry to say that. I know how that would economically impact so many people. There won't be any spring training next year in March in Florida or Arizona. And I know how much those two states depend so much on that revenue from spring training. Sad. It really is. Okay, enough about baseball. Let's get our sponsors out of the way. Finish Line Family Restaurant. Been a staple in our community now for the last 40 years, more than 4 decades. I can't think of a better sit-down restaurant in our area. That's why they're still here. They're doing it right. They're doing it the right way. Now you look at their expanded hours, Monday, Thursday, and Friday from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. All the new menu items they have, I've tried them all. They're terrific. They're great. You got to get in there and try them. Great family atmosphere, fast, friendly service. You can't ask for anything more in a sit-down restaurant. You just can't. On Carlton Road in Hillsdale, directly across the street from Arrow Swift Printing. And I promise you, I can assure you, when you fuel up with food from the Finish Line restaurant, you'll always finish first. That's a promise. I'll see you there. Okay? All right. We're also brought to you in part, of course, by Frank Beck Chevrolet on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville. Hey, you want some advice? Start the year in drive with the new 2026 from Frank Beck Chevrolet now through February 2nd. Now through February 2nd, well-qualified buyers can get a brand new 2026 Equinox for just 3.9% financing for 60 days and make no down payment for 90 days. Truck buyers, check out the 2026 Silverado 1500 light-duty crew cab with Turbo Max engine at just 1.9% APR and no payments for 90 days. And don't forget to ask about available bonus cash. It can save you thousands. You look at a lease, that's no problem. Bex has the best lease arrangements available, like a 2026 Colorado Trail Boss for as little as $349 a month for 24 months, with just $1,659 due at signing. As always, see the dealer for complete details. So really, start the year in drive with a new Chevrolet and M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville, and on the web at frankbeckchevy.com. As always, come and experience the Frank Beck Chevrolet difference. And of course, together, let's drive. Chevy Drive, Southern Michigan. And Frank Beck Chevrolet is indeed the number one selling Chevrolet dealer in our immediate tri-state area. We're also brought to you in part by Barrett Insurance in Jonesville. On the corner of M99 and US 12, 517-849-1000. That's BarrettINS.com. Barrett Insurance, protecting your dreams. As I said, on M99 and US 12 in Jonesville, 517-849-1000. Barrett Insurance, protecting your dreams. That's BarrettINS.com. Quickly, Pistons, disappointing loss Saturday night. I know they're banged up, shorthanded. They're 28-10 now. They don't play again until Thursday night when they entertain the Phoenix Suns at the Little Caesars. So at 20-10, at 28-10 right now, they've got a 3.5 game lead on the Knicks, 4 on the Celtics, and 5 on the Raptors. Okay. Red Wings. Red Wings are 28-14-3 headed to the game tonight. I'm sorry. They're 27-15-4 headed in the game tonight against Carolina with 58 points. Carolina's 1 point ahead of them, 28-14-3, 59 points. So simple math says if the Wings were to beat them tonight, get the 2 points, it'd give them 60 points, and they'd have the best record in the entire Eastern Conference. But again, I caution you. Why? Because they're so bunched up right now. They're so bunched up. You could go on a 2 or 3 game losing streak and go from being in first place to being out of the playoffs completely. That's how jumbled up that entire Eastern Conference is of the NHL. So, and remember too, the Red Wings have a home game at Little Caesars January 30th, which would be 2 weeks from Friday, January 30th. They don't have another game at Little Caesars until March the 4th. Okay, that's because of the 2-week hiatus for the Winter Olympics. They've got 3 players involved in that. Of course, Dylan Larkin playing for USA, and Mo Seider for Germany, Lucas Raymond for Sweden. Those are the 3 Red Wings that would be playing in the Olympic Games. Let's hope they don't get hurt. Okay, but that's a long time to be without a home game. January 30th to March the 4th. Wow. I didn't realize that. That's the only why I saw that, and I went back and double checked it to make sure it was right. It is right. Indeed, it is right. So, Lions. We'll have Mike McDaniel in sometime this week for an interview for his for the vacant offensive coordinator job that they have right now. Keep in mind, though, he also has 4 other interviews this week, I think, or in a not too distant future for 4 interviews for head coaching jobs. I think it was in Cleveland today for the Browns job. What are the other 3? Atlanta, Baltimore, and Tennessee. I think we'd be better served. I can't imagine him at this point. He's getting these interviews, but I would be surprised if he got a head coaching job at this point. They're going to interview him, but I think he'd be better served to take a 1 or 2 year hiatus from head coaching. Go to the Lions. Look at the weapons you're going to be working with there. Of course, in his interview with them, they would have to. I'm sure they'd come to a mutual agreement. He would be calling plays, and Dan Campbell would not. Dan Campbell wouldn't answer the question last week when asked if he was going to be calling plays next year. He said he didn't know, but I think what he meant to say was that depended on who his offensive coordinator was. Really, I can't imagine them hiring Mike McDaniel and Campbell continuing to call plays. That's not going to happen. So if they do hire Mike McDaniel as their offensive coordinator, he will be calling plays next year. As I said before, too, the Lions have so much work they have to be done in the offseason. Can they fix everything in the offseason? I don't know. I don't know. And getting back to that Brad Holmes press conference that he had last week when asked by Bob Winowski if he would be more aggressive in the offseason. And he asked Winowski to define aggressive. Well, if I was Winowski, my comeback for that would have, well, you've only signed 1 significant free agent in your entire tenure here, and that was 2 years ago when they signed Kevin Zeitler, the guard from the Ravens. Other than that, they have now. If you want to say DJ Reed was a significant signing last year, I guess it was, but after he came off the injured reserve list for not having played for a month, he was not very effective. Before getting hurt, he was. So I think what Winowski should have said, be more aggressive in free agency. You know, uh, keep in mind I have the 17th pick in the April 23rd draft. 17th pick in the April 23rd draft, and Holmes usually either trades up or trades down. That's a long way off yet. I think NFL free agency starts, I believe, on March the 9th. Lions have a lot of work to do. And I think Brad and Dan Campbell are both under a lot of pressure playing a fourth place schedule next year to get back in the running. If not win the division, at least make the playoffs. If they don't, I think, well, let's see. I think they're in some, probably be looking over their shoulders. They should be if they don't. But I mean, look at Nick Sirianni in Philadelphia. He just won a championship last year. And if you saw that game, I don't know what happened to AJ Brown. This guy, he can't catch anymore. And you saw, if you were watching the game yesterday, you saw after dropping one pass on third down, Nick Sirianni went running up the sideline to accost him, and the two had to be separated by an assistant coach. That was not a good look for either man. And Matt LaFleur, I don't know what his situation is in Green Bay. He was to have met with the owner today, or the CEO. I don't know where they're going with that. He's got 1 year left on his contract. John Harbaugh, who knows where he's going? I don't know. Giants, a lot to hash out yet. So much to hash out. Okay, so the playoffs right now, at least in the NFC anyway, next weekend you've got San Francisco and Seattle, and you've got the Rams at the Bears. Yeah. AFC, your final four in the AFC, the Pats and the Bills, and of course the wild card team, not the wild card team, but the Broncos had the bye, so they're playing. And I've got so much going on here. Who was that final fourth team remaining there in the AFC? We'll find out tonight. Yeah, okay. We'll find out tonight when the Texans play the Steelers, about 8:15 or 8:20. So after the game tonight, we'll know exactly how the AFC pairings are going to go for the final four over there. So after tonight, you'll be down to your Elite Eight, so to speak, in NFL. Okay. Have I got you caught up on everything? I think we do. Let's give a final wording for the guys at Quality PC, 37 Walter Street, downtown Hillsdale. As I've told you many times before, the only place around here to go for tech services. That's it. Quality PC in downtown Hillsdale, 37 Walter Street, 517-610-5372. About 100 yards west of Howell. Any tech service needs at all. Printer, computers, new or used. Computers, new or used, flat screen TV mounting programming setup. Maybe you're changing internet providers, you need that installed. The printers, new or used, anything at all. Just get in there and see them, okay? Tell them Rick and I forgot about Mickey tonight. Tell them Rick and Mickey sent you, will you please? Okay, thank you very much. I gave Mickey the night off, or the day off. Okay, he'll be back on Wednesday. Okay, that's going to do it. I'll talk to you all again then on Wednesday. And of course, don't forget every Saturday morning here locally on WCSR 92.1 FM, the Timeout Show with Andy and Jet. So until Wednesday then, thanks so much for watching and listening. You don't know how much I appreciate this. And remember, folks, please treat each other with respect. Have yourselves a great evening. So until Wednesday then, I'll simply say good night, everybody. Thanks. Bye-bye. So